Right, today we're going to make pizza toast. So following on from last week's recipe where you did use the bridge and claw grip to cut your fruit, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to use the bridge and claw. But today we're going to use the grill to actually cook this. So what you'll need for it, you'll need a chopping board, a grater and a sharp knife as your equipment, and your ingredients, you'll need some form of bread. So I'm using a piece of French bread which is cut in half. You'll need some cheese. It doesn't matter what cheese you need, about 50 grams of cheese, a quarter of a pepper, a quarter of an onion, and a mushroom I've decided to use on mine. You'll also need some sort of moisture topping, so the tomato topping. Now for mine, I've got a small carton of passata, and I'm going to use some of that, a couple of tablespoons, and I'm going to mix it with some dried herbs to give my moisture topping. The first thing you need to do is actually switch on your grill. Now mine is not like the ones at school, but the ones at school are all very much the same. So you pull the tray out, because we don't want to get the tray hot. Use your handle to pull it out. Once it's out, then it won't be getting hot, but we want the grill itself to warm up. So you switch your grill on, but make sure there's nothing underneath it, and that way you can walk away. You never leave a grill unattended. So once you've switched it on to warm up, make sure there's nothing in it, and then you can go away while it warms up, and then you can go back to it. The first thing I'm going to do then is prepare my ingredients, my toppings. So for the pepper, we need to take out this inside bit. So if you can pull it out, if not, claw grip. So remember last week's claw grip, we're going to get hold of this. I'm going to cut down and take out all the bits that we don't want. Always chopping downwards, always onto a chopping board. And I want really thin slices, so this is going to test your skill of accuracy. So claw grip and get hold of the pepper. Then thin slices, claw grip, sharp knife, thin slices. So use your nail as a guide. So don't splay it out or you'll trim your nail. So it's straight down and thin slices of your pepper. If you want to use different coloured peppers, it'll look more attractive, but it is up to you. One is fine. Remember that all the things that we're putting on the top of this pizza toast can be eaten raw, and that means that we don't have to cook it for very long. So nice thin pieces so it doesn't take much cooking. Put it to one side of your board. Get rid of the rubbish. Remember, it is a chopping board, not a rubbish board. Next we do the onion. So it's a quarter of an onion, and once you've cut an onion, it's much easier to peel the dried layers of skin off. So again, it's rubbish out of the way. Claw grip, holding your onion in place, get rid of the rubbish. And then claw grip the onion, and really thin slices of onion, really thin. So we're holding it steady. We've got it balancing on the flat side of it. If we put it on that way, it'll be really difficult to cut, so always try and use a flat side. At one point it will get so near the end that you can't hold your onion, so that's when we move into the bridge. So the bridge is where we can cut through, holding the food in place and cutting between the fingers, the finger and the thumb. And that way you can cut your onion up. Again, nice thin pieces. If they look a bit big, chop them down a bit more. Okay, so we've got our onion. Next is the mushroom. If it's a fresh mushroom, don't need to peel it. We're using all the mushroom, including the stem, which is actually made of the same stuff as the cap, the top bit. Again, nice thin slices. Claw grip all the way across, and when you can't hold it securely anymore, transfer to bridge, and the knife goes between the finger and the thumb. So put your cheese into your palm of your hand, and gently press it down. It won't cut you if you do it slowly. So pressing the cheese down against the grater. This way the cheese, if we grate it, will go further than if we just sliced it. So what will happen is once it goes onto the top of the pizza, if it's small pieces, it will melt between the vegetables that are on there. So right down to the bottom of the cheese, right to the end. And like I say, if you're very careful and slow, it won't cut you. So a small bit of cheese can be grated to look quite a lot. Next thing we need to do is mix our passata. So I'm going to tip some passata onto my herbs, about a couple of tablespoons, and just mix those gently in. That'll just give it a little bit more flavour. Now, alternatives to this, you can use ketchup, you can use tomato puree, you can use tinned tomatoes. If you want to spice it up, you could put some chilli into there, or some other spices. Right, to assemble your pizza toast, we've got to toast one side. So we need to toast the outside of the pizza, outside of the bread, sorry. So I'm going to take that to the grill, and because the grill has been on, then we're going to pop that under, and we don't leave it until that is, we can see that that is brown. Once this is nice and crispy and toasted, you're going to turn it over, and you're going to then assemble your toppings onto there. The first thing we're going to put on is some tomato base that we've made. You don't need lots, it makes it soggy if you put lots on. You don't have to use French bread, you can just use a slice of bread. Doesn't really matter. You could actually put it onto wraps, you could put this onto crumpets, you can put it onto a bread cake. It doesn't matter, because the idea is that it's a quick and healthy snack using what you've got at home. So make sure I've got some on so I get that tomato flavour. Next I'm going to put on my onions. So I'm going to break the onion up and put it so it's all over the piece of bread. So it doesn't look much ingredients, a quarter of an onion, but it does go a long way when you break it up. We don't want big chunks of one flavour, we want to spread them out so that each mouthful of your pizza you're going to get a flavour and a taste. So not one mouthful isn't all onion and one mouthful isn't all mushroom. So spread it out across the pizza so you've got an equal amount all over. After you've put your onion on, your peppers can go on, so you can arrange those nicely on the top. Obviously the different colours you've got on will look more attractive, and using different coloured vegetables will give you different nutrients. So arrange your peppers onto it. Make sure again that it's spread out so that we've got different bits on and we've got different colours if you use different coloured peppers. We've not used any meat on this pizza, so it is vegetarian. But you can put, obviously, salamis. You can put whatever you like on a pizza, to be honest. It's up to you. Next bit that goes on are the mushrooms. And you can see how one mushroom cut thin goes quite a long way. So you don't need lots of toppings to fill this up. Right, now, it does have a tendency to roll about because it's on French bread. So the trick is, hand flat, put it on the top, press it down. And that way, your toppings will stay on and it stays flat enough. Then you can put your cheese on top. Make sure your cheese stays on top. We repeat the same process as we've just done with the hand. Just look a bit brutal, but it actually works. So cheese on and flatten it on. And pushing it down stops it falling off as much. Transfer your pizza then quite easily to your grill pan and put it under the grill. So remembering that we're not going to leave this at all because we've got something under it. So once we've got something under it, we don't leave it. I've taken these out of the grill now. Remember to use your oven gloves when you're dealing with anything that's hot. So use the hand gloves, use your oven gloves. That's really tasty on its own, but serve it with some salad or some coleslaw. Makes a really nice snack. Enjoy.